What do you do if your intuition is telling you to leave a toxic situation, but you know logically you can't? You don't think you can. You don't think you can leave because of bills that you have to pay, of obligations, of worries and fears that if you leave like a toxic job or a toxic situation, a toxic relationship, that it's going to be worse than what you are in currently. Your intuition is telling you to get out of something that doesn't feel good. It doesn't work for you emotionally, it doesn't work for you mentally. And what's really happening, your intuition is saying this doesn't work for you spiritually. This doesn't work for you at a soul level. There's something about this that is gnawing at you, and you know it. But you feel, your logical mind is telling you, you feel, you believe, I have to pay my bills, I have obligations, or this feeling of hopelessness for this whole new mountain that you're going to have to climb, or this whole new life you're going to have to create, or just this whole new that you're going to have to embrace if you leave the old. The old isn't working. So you're feeling like you're in a toxic situation. And your intuition is telling you to get out. Your intuition is telling you it is time to make a change. So let's play out two scenarios. Let's play out the one where you don't leave, you stay. What would be the benefit of you staying in a situation you don't like? Over time, when we think that that is the only way, that what we're in is the only way, but we don't like it, we hate it, we're building a mental prison for ourselves. And we're doubling down on a belief that is not true. You don't know for a fact that is the only job that will pay you. You don't know for a fact that that is the only relationship that you could have. It's your logical mind. It is that very logical, tactical inner critic is calling the shots now. My inner critic is now deciding what my life is going to be like, not my heart, not my deep soul yearnings, but some small, kind of insignificant part of the brain. And it is telling you lies because you don't have the facts to support any of that. So if you stay, you're allowing this unseen force to control you. That is something you don't actually want. If we look at what your intuition is that higher sense, that is your higher purpose, your higher self. It's your higher self communicating with you. And it's usually the way that it communicates sometimes, if you're not picking up the signals, it's going to rattle the body. It's going to give you thoughts. It's going to help. Your intuition's going to say, hey, it's going to be this nagging voice that you need to listen to. And so when we want to shift over to something where we want to be positive, I want to feel like, I want to be hopeful, I want to feel like change is possible, but it seems so far from the reality that I'm in. Of course it does, because this is not a reality that you want at all. So what you have to start believing is that there is a reality for you, and that there is a place where you can enjoy the work that you do. There is a place where you can find a relationship that you love by allowing yourself wisdom inside of you that is talking to you, and you're dismissing it. When you stop dismissing the intuition as something frivolous, as something nonsensical, and you start looking at this as your navigational tool, as a way that your inner world is commenting on what you're doing in your outer world, and they're not matching, why would you not want to follow that? We have to change the idea. You can change your thoughts. You can make it feel that it is you that is going to turn the wheel of your life, and that you're going to make a change for the better. That even just setting the mind and setting the belief, and I've done this with my life, that this is the thing I'm going to go for. I'm going to put my all in it. The wheels started changing around me to make that happen. It took a little bit of time, a couple months, for what I was in to come crashing down. And I had to deal with the new reality of the thing that I had actually wanted a couple months prior. And so by following that, by just believing, like wholeheartedly believing this is possible, shaky as it is, it's easy to believe for other people. It's easy to see other people and see their spark and see how wonderful they're going to be. But when it's for you, when it's yours, when it's inside of you, and you have a calling to do something, and you have a calling to shift and change, not everybody's going to understand it. Not everybody may agree with it. I know that too. But if your intuition, if your inner wisdom is telling you that you need to make changes in your life, why would you not listen to that? Why would you not have a conversation with yourself about what is possible? If you can see an example in the world where someone else shifted and changed, and there are many stories out there, or just the fact that what you want exists, it is possible. Even if it doesn't exist, it is possible. We're moving into such a wild era coming forward where we've just started to look at anything goes. And now we're kind of numb to shock value. That anything that you could possibly want to do is, how could it? I can't imagine you being so daring. Dare yourself to do something wild. Dare yourself to do something amazing. But we have a short amount of time in our life. We have such a short amount of time, and time is the most precious thing that we have. So there's really no point in ever wasting it and doing things that don't absolutely light you up. We all have to pay bills. We all have to pay bills. We all have to have responsibilities. And there's lots of people that do lots of things that are their dreams. And then there's a lot of people that just take a job because they just like being in survival mode. And then there are people that don't know any other way but to be in survival mode because that's how the generations before them were and the generations before them were. And that, with this whole burst of social media for the last 20 some years, has been breaking down those generational beliefs that have been with us for such a long time, that how we make money, how we add value into the world, how we do things has now completely turned on its head. And that you can craft what you want. And it will only take the time you believe it will take. It's only going to take the time of how much resistance you give to that new idea. The more resistant you are to the intuition and the understanding, the longer it's going to take. You can make changes as quickly as possible if you want, if you believe it. The material world takes time to catch up. Allow your intuition to have a space to talk to you, to have that conversation of what is it that you could possibly go and seek, just to get you to the next level. Our intuition is our superpower. It is the piece in us that we really don't understand. It's the element of humanness that makes us so wonderful with our ingenuity and our creativity. And it's the thing that we don't teach. It's the thing that we shut down. Why would I want you to be intuitive? Why would I want you to be a free thinker? Why would I want you to be on your own and navigate the world? I'd rather you be a worker bee in a company to make someone else money. It's a much better place for you. So if you're struggling with your intuition, if you're struggling with following that guidance, it's most likely because you haven't been allowed to for a very long time. Most children get to play in their intuition and get to play in their imagination and get to dream and get to do all these wonderful things. And then they get to this really kind of ripe age and that shifts and they go to school and they have to sit down and they have to be structured, and that all has value in it, but we tend to make that the dominant trait and characteristic we want. We want obedience. We'd rather you be obedient than creative. Yet without the creativity, we wouldn't have the society that we've been building, and only a handful of people get to decide what that looks like. And so we need to follow the intuition because that's the first seed. That's what scientists do. It's what Aristotle coined is the first element in science, is that intuition. As you're observing the world in nature and you're looking around, you're going to get sparks of ideas. And that spark of ideas is an intuition to say, I believe, I have a theory, I have a hypothesis that this should be like this, that this over here can be over here, or that we can create something that has never been seen before, or we can solve something that we haven't been able to solve. We can figure out a formula that hasn't been figured out before. But we need that spark of inspiration, we need that room, and we need to allow ourselves to follow and explore those inner voices, that inner inspiration, that inner intuition to create things of value for ourselves and possibly for others in the world. So it's a step-by-step process. I'm always going to say this. When you allow yourself to have projects where you're creating, you're allowing yourself to follow your intuition. You're allowing your higher self to have a conversation with you. You're allowing your inner wisdom to come through. You're allowing your inner wisdom to guide you. even through the scary parts, even through the hard parts, even through the shaky parts. That's the practice. That's how we learn balance and stability. That's how we get strong. It's fine and fun when it's brand new and it's fresh and it's exciting. Well, where do we take that? How do we keep holding on to that when we feel lost, when we feel fragmented? How do we hone in on that? How do we learn how to go within? We have to learn how to go within. And this is an individual practice, but we all do this together. And we work to make sure that we can allow ourselves to hear. And then we give ourselves the room to take the right actions we need to take in the context and what's being given to us. So always follow your intuition. Always follow those gut instincts. Always follow those heart desires. Your body is not capable of lying to you. It is not capable of lying to you. It will always give you the correct answer and what you need to know. And if it feels good, if it feels like there's something in you that says yes, you have to follow that. Not just what the mind wants to tell you, but everything in you has to feel yes. Otherwise, it's a no. Otherwise, if your body's saying, I don't feel good in this environment, this doesn't feel good. If you had would you let a child sit in an environment that they didn't like? Force them to do something they didn't like for long term if it wasn't for a better benefit? Probably not. I would hope not. So learn how to cultivate that intuition. Creative projects are the best way to exercise those little inner critic demons so that you know when it's real things that are coming towards you, when it's real information that's intuitive coming towards you. You've been practicing how to handle it, how to filter through and decipher those messages and that understanding and how to take the right actions for you. What are the right steps you need to take? Always follow your intuition, my friends. Thank you for being here. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.